Coming to you from beautiful Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Lakeshore Lanes is the place for the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Classic here. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylo. It's amazing. The 11th year, 12th year of the Sean Yonan?
12th year of the Sean Yonan, 5th year for the Scratch Open. We've carried them all here on Spectrum Sports, and the bowlers are finishing their qualifying right now. Should be pretty interesting to see the 4 bowlers that we get in the show. We're down to the final 8 before we get to the show. It's a lot of young players. Something tells me kind of a changing of the guard here at this Open tournament. Last year we saw a lot of older players. We saw Ben Pallardy, a college player, take home the title. We could see even some high school players in this final today, Van. So it should be pretty interesting to see who our 4 finalists are going to be once we get to the show.
It's going to be interesting to see how our 4 finalists get there because, again, we've changed up the format a little bit here in our tournament.
Yeah, Keith Yonan, the tournament director here at the Sean Yonan Memorial. He loves the TV format on ESPN this past season with the 4 bowlers bowling down in the final 2. Same thing we just saw in the Top Gun on our shows here on Spectrum Sports. You're going to see that for our final matches here at the Sean Yonan Memorial Open.
All right, our 4 bowlers from the Midwest, the best bowlers here in the area, battling it out for the top prize, the qualifying match next year. Phil, ready?
Ready. $1,000 first place today. Lots of money on the line for these players.
All right, the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Tournament is next year from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. Don't go anywhere.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Coming to you from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, it is the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Tournament. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylo. What a weekend of bowling here at Lakeshore Lanes, Phil.
Well, you know what? This is one of the bigger events of the year in Wisconsin. We have the youth tournament, which you'll see upcoming on Spectrum Sports. That was held yesterday. We taped this event on a Sunday, and tell you what, 72 of the best bowlers in Wisconsin coming out for this $1,000 first place prize, and pretty good shot leading us off, Van.
Yeah, not just bowlers from Wisconsin, we're from all over the place today. Alex Lehman, the 18-year-old from Appleton, opens up with a strike.
Gee, another Whitewater University bowler. We don't see many of those around Wisconsin, do we?
No, not too many.
And as we talked about in the opening, Van, all young players here in this final. I mean, we have players of all ages bowling, but when you look at Ryan Zagar being the senior leader of this group at 23 years of age, you know the revolution's on its way.
Ryan representing Racine. Cody Weigel here out of Sheboygan, and a nice pocket strike.
And I'll tell you what, players struggled early today on this Tower of Pisa pattern. It's kind of interesting because if you think of how the Tower of Pisa leans, when you look at it in all those pictures in Italy, this pattern kind of leans from the left side to the right side, so it kind of forces the righties outside a little bit more. It can force the lefties a little bit more in unless you combat it like Ryan Keith here.
Ryan Keith out of Bloomingdale, Illinois. It's amazing to see, I was alluding to this earlier, Phil, how this tournament has grown over the past 11, 12 years.
Well, it started as just a youth tournament for the local bowlers here in Sheboygan, and it's just grown and they've expanded it in the memory of Keith Yonan's son, Sean, into this entire weekend of fun events here in Sheboygan for the bowlers. And wow, perfect start for all of our players, Van.
Yeah, Ryan Zagar out of Racine, bowling out of Castle Lanes, and no one in the hole this first frame.
Not at all. And now we're going to see the lineup changed up a little bit, so we're just going to keep going from left lane to right lane. So leading off the second frame, here is going to be Cody Weigel.
Cody Weigel, the 18-year-old out of Sheboygan.
Yeah, high school player. I mean, all the pressure on a young player like this. He bowled the local youth event here this morning and won the event. Can he go back-to-back at the rate he's throwing it today?
Slow, steady, trips the 10-pin. I like his style, Cody Weigel.
It's just keeping the ball in play. And it's still to the fact that, yes, we see a ton of two-handers and we see the high-rev games, but bowling, if you make the right adjustments and have the right piece of equipment in your hand, like we see there with Weigel, I believe, throwing a urethane piece right now, really is just controlling the back end and has no problem putting the double up on the board.
Absolutely. Cody throwing the Ebonite Nitro urethane ball, while Alex Lehman here, the 18-year-old, with the Purple Pearl Hammer, and gets into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, shorter pattern with this tower pizza pattern, 39 feet, so these players are trying to stay direct, deciding to use urethane, and it could work for a while, but once they start to develop some carry down, it could make things kind of tricky. But with two lefties, two righties on the pair, it's going to even everything out as the day goes on, and a great conversion there by Lehman. Keep himself close, and once again, man, with this format, you just got to be in the top two this game to advance to the championship match. You don't have to lead. Scores don't matter after this game's done. We're going to drop everything for the two guys that are in the championship match and let them battle it out for that $1,000 first place prize.
It's different, Phil, on this telecast to see two lefties going at it, two righties going at it. That's normally not the case, but Ryan Zagar out of Racine and another solid pocket strike.
It's going to be interesting to see a transition for these players, not what they're used to all day today, with obviously the multitude of righties with 72 players as compared to the number of lefties. So the lefties seeing more transition, the righties seeing less transition, and now we got to see how they're going to make the adjustment in the semifinal matches. We got a score correction here by Tournament Director Keith Yonan making an appearance on TV. Always good to see Keith out here. And boy, him and his family, the great event they run with the volunteers they get all weekend long from the Sheboygan Bowling Association. Can't say anything but the best for them.
Yeah, this tournament has grown exponentially as we check out Ryan Keith out of Bloomingdale, Illinois, and a strike as the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Tournament continues from Lakeshore Lanes. More from Sheboygan next. Welcome back to Sheboygan. Lakeshore Lanes is the place for the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament. The fast-paced action continues here. Van Kim alongside Phil Bryler.
And the only non-strike so far, Van, out here, Alex Lehman's 7-pin the last frame. In this elimination match, top two continue on. Bottom two take home $400 each in prize money. Strikes are going to be necessary for Lehman to get back in this match, and how about that for a break?
What a break to trip the 6-pin. Is this the professional bowlers tour, Phil?
I'll tell you what, with this Tower of Pisa pattern that's out here, designed by Kegel Bowling, used with their machines, it's a little bit of that different shape. Players aren't used to it, but these four players have made the adjustments, come back out on top, and they're really playing the pattern properly. They're not using overly aggressive equipment. Yes, it's 39 feet long and pretty heavy, but 21 feet of drive lets the ball do a lot of work.
And they're taking their time here at the line, especially in Cody Weigel out of Sheboygan. The methodical approach and a light mixer strike, but a strike is a strike, Phil.
Well, and especially with urethane, you can see how that ball gets into a roll, and it doesn't really do that snap you see with a lot of reactive resin bowling balls. Weigel needs to keep the speed up on that ball to make sure that when it does hit, he can carry that light hit, that there's no deflection. If he starts to see more deflection in that, he might have to change balls, and it might not be that long before he has to change it, depending on how he plays this line compared to Zagar's.
Making the trip from Bloomingdale, Illinois, this is Ryan Keith. Solid lefty strike there. Wow.
I'll tell you what, these players came to fire today, no doubt about it. You know, tough format, short format, only 5 games of qualifying before going to a couple of rounds of 2-game total pin matches in match play. And to survive this top 4 and get a chance to take home that $1,000 first place prize, you've had to make your adjustments quick and correct all day long.
Ryan Zager out of Racine and a stone 8-pin.
That will just take out a little piece of your soul, Van, and throw it right in that right gutter. No doubt about that. You can't throw the ball any better. You watch the ball slice through there, leave that 8-pin as the 5 comes straight off it. Zager knows he's thrown a great shot, and you just see the look of, I can't believe that happened to me.
Right. But you adjust, you put your best foot forward, you convert the spare.
And that's the key, not letting any more pins get away. And we see the lively kickbacks here at Lakeshore Lanes. If somebody does happen to leave 7-10 today on the show and pick it up, they get a $500 Visa gift card thanks to EBC Productions, but I don't think anybody wants to leave a 7-10 right now in this match. It's not enough time to get caught up probably if you leave one of those.
Have we had a 7-10 conversion here on our Essential Bowling Concepts telecast?
Nope, none in 10 years here on our fine telecasts. We've only had one 300 over that time too as well, so hoping to give away some 300 game money maybe today as well. It's $300 if somebody does shoot a 300 game, and in case of Cody Weigel, because he's a youth player, he would simply receive a $300 Visa gift card because youth bowling rules for the USBC, it either has to be scholarship money or in a form of a gift card that they can't go to an ATM and get cash out with a PIN number or anything like that. We can give them a gift card so they can get additional bowling equipment because God knows kids need bowling equipment nowadays.
Cody Weigel out of Sheboygan, perfect through 4. We're looking at Alex Lehman here out of Appleton, the 18-year-old, and a solid pocket strike for Alex.
And he's got to be thinking to himself right now, boy, I've thrown it great. I've only had one non-strike, and here I am sitting in 3rd place in the match after 4 frames.
JBST Oshkosh tournament winner in 2016.
And once again, another young player that's going to get scholarship money if he wins any today. It's going to go right in the scholarship account. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's when you know your ball is working hard. When you take that super light pocket hit, and Zagar knows he got a break, and he's got to think to himself, if I threw that well, Weigel's urethane is pushing oil down the lane. I need to get around where that oil is, and he needs to make an adjustment on the shot. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what he needs to do, because he's the only player throwing resin on the lane right now. We've got Ryan Keith and Alex Lehman both on the left side throwing urethane. So
Zagar with the Columbia 300 sideswipe, a solid. Cody Weigel with that Ebonite Nitro and another pocket strike here.
You know, the field average on this pattern for all 72 players today, Van, was about 185. These players are pacing at 279 minimum right now through 4 frames. It just goes to show you the talent that these players have, and they're able to make this adjustment. And they only had 6 minutes of practice before we started with the scoring here on TV, so not much time to adjust to a freshly oiled condition after bowling on burned out conditions as the day went on.
The future of youth bowling looks great, both in the boys and the girls. And a crossover strike, not able to trip that 8-pin.
Yeah, Lehman not happy on the release of that shot. He just tried to help it a little bit, which is easy to do with urethane because the ball doesn't hook a lot. You try giving a little extra, all of a sudden you start that line much straighter, or actually that time you started pointing it towards the head pin, and that's just trouble right there, as flat as this Tower of Pisa lane pattern is. And he's just going to simply hard and straight polyester ball right towards that 8-pin.
Convert those spares. And he does. Bowling out of Super Bowl for Alex Lehman.
And of course, the high 5 gear 5th frame in the championship match. If one of these bowlers happens to strike in that high 5 gear 5th frame, they're going to get a $25 gift certificate for merchandise from High 5 Gear. So it's good to get warmed up in the semifinal match and get yourself a strike in the 5th frame.
Lots of prizes to be won here.
$1,000 first place prize on top. If Lehman or Weigel win that award, it's going to go as a scholarship.
Perfect through 4, looking for 5 here. 5 in a row from the kid.
And he's got to be thinking to himself right now, that reaction's getting a little iffy. It's gone a little longer. He's probably going to have to make a little jump out to the right, find a little more dry on the lane. Because you really don't want to throw your thing a little more direct and a little firmer, because if you have too much speed, strong roll goes away, ball hits even weaker.
In the back of his mind, though, you got to be thinking ball change. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck with wrap 7s and wrap 10s like we see here.
Well, the thing is, one game match, fan, you're going to get a little bit of transition, but there's only one other player causing that transition for you, so it's a little easier to follow than, let's say, if we had 3 other righties out there with Weigel. Then he'd have to be thinking a little bit more of, okay, it might now be time for that ball change to resin. I don't think it's to that point yet. I think he's really just got to pay attention to where Zagar is throwing the ball, and he can make his adjustments. Same thing that Ryan Keith's going to do. Great shot there where he ramped the 7-pin, but he's going to watch Lehman's ball reaction too, just to see, oh, do I need to make a move as well?
It's a smart game out here. Kids are getting smarter and figuring out these oil patterns. The Leaning Tower of Pisa oil pattern here. Sheboygan is the place. Lakeshore Lanes and the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament. Ryan Zagar out of Racine with the trip 10. And our action continues next here on Spectrum Sports. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. It's the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo. A bunch of strikes here in this opening match for the championship, and Cody Weigel out of Sheboygan leading the way, clean through his first time.
Tell you what, 20 shots so far, only 4 non-strikes from these players. Only 1 real errant shot by Alex Lehman in the 5th frame, and Weigel with the lead right now, but he's got to keep pushing everybody right on his tail, and he's got to make sure he stays in the top 2 to try to win this championship.
Weigel, 6 in a row. Light pocket strike.
Tell you what, he has that urethane ball working. He's got the nerves calmed down, and it's a lot of games for Alex today. He bowled 6 games earlier in the Sheboygan Youth Association tournament here this morning for the Sean Yonan Memorial Weekend. Then he bowled 5 games of qualifying, 4 games of match play before making TV. He has 15 games on his hand already before he's even started bowling the stepladder, Van. You got to wonder if mental and physical fatigue could be a problem for Weigel as the day goes on.
When he's not bowling, Cody Weigel, he's bowling Maple Lanes here at Lakeshore Lanes, Odyssey Fun Center, Ells Lodge in Sheboygan, bowling all over Wisconsin. Lehman out of Appleton, he bowls out of Super Bowl, and a nice strike for Lehman.
And I'll tell you what, Lehman's staying close, but he looks a little dejected as he goes back to talk to some of his UW Whitewater teammates. He knows that it's going to take a mistake from someone else to let him get back in the match, with Zagar stepping up here. And Zagar, his only blemish on the scorecard, that solid 8 pin he left in the 3rd frame.
It was a great shot. He was able to convert the spare, and that one just looked like a miss at target. Got away from Ryan Zagar, the 23-year-old out of Racine.
Well, we mentioned before the break, Weigel's going to be causing some carry down with that urethane ball. Those balls don't flare a lot as they roll. They keep the oil on the ball and transfer a little bit down lane. Zagar trying to swing the ball around that carry down lane. He just over swung the ball basically, and now leaves himself in a big predicament here.
Another one of those kids, when he's not bowling, he's bowling. Ryan Zagar out of Racine, his home house, out of Castle Lanes, the beautiful bowling center down there, and a very big thank you to Jake Bush.
Well, that takes Zagar from in contention down to 4th place right now in this match, with the top 2 advancing.
But as we've seen in these telecasts, anything can happen here. With the change of splits, Cody could go off the sheet for a perfect 300 game. We'll see how it happens here. Ryan Keith, the kid out of Bloomingdale, Illinois, and another strike.
Well, that gives Keith a 20-pin cushion right now over Alex Lehman. So that's a huge cushion at this point in time because they both keep striking. Ryan Keith can afford a single pin in there, and it's still going to put a lot of pressure here on Lehman to keep striking to try to pass him.
Lehman, only 18 years old, in the 7th frame. I don't know if that was ball speed, a missed target. Starting to get a little grabby out there for the southpaws.
And you just got it right there, Van. A little grabby. He just needs to let it relax off his hand. He's got a little bit more of a projection towards the head pin, and as soon as he kind of over projects it, facing the head pin right away, that ball rolls up too soon, and now not an easy spare here with the 2, 4, and 7.
Lehman would like to thank his mom and dad, Coach Sean Warchner.
Sean, the head coach at UW Whitewater. Guys are getting ready to go down to the USBC Intercollegiate Team Championships as well. Good luck to Whitewater down there. Both the men's and women's teams qualified for that competition in Baton Rouge later on in April.
Always a crazy scene. Go Warhawks and go Cody Weigel, the hometown kid out of Sheboygan, and a wrap and stone 10. My goodness.
We were really hoping to give away that $300
I thought this would have been the telecast we were going to do.
for the perfect game, and a great toss there by Weigel. A little bit of deflection at the pocket, leaves that 10 pin, and he kind of not happy with it, but I don't think he got as much of that ball on the bottom as he wanted to. But now just keep your calm, make your spares, stay ahead. No one from Sheboygan has taken home this Sean Yonan Memorial Open title. Closest we've seen here in the history of the tournament was Steve Richter last year, finishing in 2nd place.
An opportunity for a hometown kid to win a hometown tournament.
It's always good when you can do that, and especially when it's on the larger scale. I mean, obviously Cody this morning winning the Sean Yonan Memorial Youth
event, yes.
event for the local players here in Sheboygan. Of course, we'll have the Youth Championship event for players from all over the Midwest coming to you later on Spectrum Sports after this show's run is complete.
Dare I say Ryan Keith out of Bloomingdale, Illinois is a bit of a stroker. That was a pretty strike as we look at the replay there, right in the pocket.
Well, we saw Ryan a lot back in our Hammer Youth Challenge Series days here on Spectrum Sports, and he was a young high school player, worked his way through college at St. Ambrose University, had a couple of great teammates with his brother Adam, and the human pretzel, Kyle Anderson, who took home a title or two here from the Sean Yonan Memorial over time.
Zagar continues to have some problems here on both lanes. The 23-year-old out of Racine.
And Ryan knows right there, even with the spare here, and it's going to be a tough spare with this 2.48.10, he's looking at a maximum of 2.32. That's not even going to be close to enough with the pace. Both Weigel and Keith looking at 2.79s. And even if Lehman were the striking off the sheet, Lehman would be at 2.39. So lots of work to be done here by Zagar, but it has to start with a must spare.
You want to put your best foot forward. Not able to take out that 10 penny.
And with 2.21 now, the maximum for Zagar, you pretty much got to write him off for a third or fourth place finish and $400.
Still a respectable showing here, but as any bowler, you always want to do better.
Over $3,000 added to the prize fund here at the Sean Yonan Memorial Open. I mean, they raised a lot more money for the Sean Yonan Youth Championships. I mean, those youth championships, 4 different divisions, gives away a $750 first place prize. And you see that on our next show, and it's a great weekend here in Sheboygan. I can't say enough about it.
Cody Weigel, the hometown kid, and a solid pocket strike.
Nothing flusters Weigel.
No. At 18 years old.
Family and friends sticking around, cheering him on, and it's, I wonder who's more nervous right now, his dad or him? Probably his dad. But we see in the orange shirt on the left there, we see Ryan Keith's dad, Craig, almost made the TV show as well, lost a match in match play to Ryan Keith, or pardon me, to Ryan Zagar to not make the show.
Lehman out of Appleton.
And Craig Keith.
Nice strike.
Yeah, Craig Keith, Ryan's dad, phenomenal bowler as well. Ryan Zagar here, him, his dad, Matt, and his brother Kyle, along with Ron Wallenkamp Jr. and Dwayne Streeter, shot a total at the state tournament to finish in second place in the team event.
Pretty good.
With 3,600 plus pins, and it shot a 13.50 team game. So the low guy in the team game that game shot 257.
Oh my God.
So we know these guys can throw the ball, especially with that Zagar family. Matt already being a local Hall of Famer we've seen, and it's not going to be too far behind before Ryan and Kyle get old enough to put up those Hall of Fame numbers as well.
Ryan, a great bowler, and figuring it out as he goes along here. The last 2 shots ended in splits. Looks like he got back on the horse, but left that 10 pin, converts his spare.
And I think here's the big shot for Ryan Keith. That he's up there. He gets this one. He pretty much locks out Alex Lehman from advancing into the championship match with himself and Cody Weigel. How's he going to keep adjusting to how Lehman's been playing the lanes?
Ryan Keith out of Bloomingdale, Illinois. Oh my.
And you could see Ryan, he gave that one a little extra on the bottom. You saw the flip through a little hard with the hand. And he knows it too on the way back. Doesn't look upset. He's already getting focused on what he needs to do to convert that 8-pin. But you see how much that ball squared up to the pocket.
Looked great.
And I think he just kind of maybe made the adjustment with his hand to overcome the little bit of carry down that Lehman's made. And I think he's just going to go back to just releasing it off the hand softly.
More from Lakeshore Lanes here in Sheboygan as the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Tournament continues next. Welcome back to Lakeshore Lanes. It's the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo. Things starting to take shape here, Phil. We know at least one bowler has secured their spot in the championship match.
Yeah, with 2 frames to go here, Cody Weigel would have to tie his own shoelaces together and not advance in the championship match. Right now, must strike for Alex Lehman. His maximum score here is 239 if he strikes out in the 9th and 10th, working in the 8th frame strike. Ryan Keith, if he paces out, strike spare is at 239 as well, so this is a big shot here for Lehman.
And the stone 7 for Alex Lehman out of Appleton, Wisconsin.
And you see the look on his face, and he knows with the opponent the caliber of Ryan Keith, Alex Lehman knows his day is done.
Very big thank you to Whitewater's head coach, Sean Warshner, Nick Crummell as well, and pro shop operator Tim Mothy.
Yeah, Tim, pro shop guy up at Super Bowl in Appleton, always has extra frame out of the pro shop. Always got to thank Tim for that as well. So always watching us an extra frame, and that's always a great way to learn a little bit more about bowling and what's going on the pro tour.
I'm sure we'll see some of these kids out on the Pro Bowlers Tour here in the future.
Well, you got to remember one young man back in 2012 in the youth championships, AJ Johnson, won the championship there and has had a pretty decent career on the PBA Tour. He's going to break through in that winner's circle on the national tour soon. Just had a 2nd place finish in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a couple of weeks back.
Light pocket strike for Cody Weigel out of Sheboygan. Maybe one of those kids we'll see on the PBA in the near future.
Yeah, Weigel's just staying loose and just following what he needs to do here. He knows he's in the championship match. Ryan Keith, any mark here, he knows he's going to be in the championship match.
Solid pocket strike for Keith out of Bloomingdale, Illinois. And his pitch black.
Yeah, we've got our 2 finalists. And unfortunately for Alex Lehman and Ryan Zagar, their day is ending after this game. But $400 is a 3rd and 4th place award for each of those players. Pretty good day for just over 10 games of bowling.
And comes up high through the head, almost gets the big 4 there.
Yeah, not the day Zagar is looking for, but let's see, he's just thinking about the mechanics right now. What could I have done differently to get around the carry down that Weigel was making? And it just goes to show how much these bowling balls, whether it's reactive resin or urethane, how much they make these lanes change from shot to shot when you have the caliber of players hitting a small area on the lane and they're able to just kind of take the oil off of certain parts of the lane. And he who finds it first usually wins, Van. And one Mr. Weigel right here has definitely found it so far.
Bowling on the Leaning Tower of Pisa oil pattern here.
Let's see if he tries to make any type of move here in the 10th frame. Usually you always want to try an area check. You know you're locked in. See what you can do here. It's not always about the score. Real close to the foul line. And
Looks like he tried a little something different there.
he let that one go a little bit farther right, and he knows he's got a little area for it to come back.
So some planning ahead, if you will, for Mr. Weigel here as he heads to the championship round.
Well, they're going to have to sit through the commercial break coming up. They're not going to get any additional practice before they start the championship match. And both Ryan Keith and Cody Weigel know that they're not going to affect each other's shots. It's all up to me what we do in this championship match. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. It's not going to be low scoring either, something tells me.
No, not with these kids out here. Not with a strike like that from Cody.
Yeah, I mean, a little pull left there, a little straighter down lane. He gets that ball to hit the pocket, and now it's just a matter of staying loose, staying in the moment, and making quality shots. I mean, as a young player, you know, high school competition's great. Some of these other youth tournaments that are around are good as well, but nothing's like being under the TV lights for the first time.
An unbelievable experience for these kids and shaping them for the future and the rest of their bowling careers.
Yeah. We're with Ryan Keith. We've seen him numerous times on TV here before on Spectrum Sports, and he's used to the bright lights, and he can make things work as well. But boy, just 1 10-pin away from perfection for Weigel.
Solid performance for the 18-year-old out of Sheboygan. That's Cody Weigel. We'll see him in the championship match next.
So Lehman just looking to get out of the way here, but you want to make some good shots on the way out the door.
Absolutely. Best foot forward. Leave them wanting more.
A little unusual where he really takes that left foot in his stance and almost makes it a T with the instep of his left foot into the heel of his right. But tell you what, if it gets you the balance you need at setup and get you throwing shots like we've seen Lehman throw here all afternoon, set up any way you like.
Absolutely. Lehman throwing that purple pearl hammer. Don't know if he has anything else there in the arsenal as things begin to transition here.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much, you got 2 shots left.
Yeah.
Not much to go off. He's just looking to get out of the way here and build off of something because, as we said, with this biggest collegiate competition of the year with the USBC Intercollegiate Team Championships coming up, and he's part of that lineup and that roster that's going down there, and he wants to make sure he represents well for that UW Whitewater men's team.
And he'll look back, and all of our bowlers look back at this tournament and the experience that they had and apply it to bowling in the future here. This is an unbelievable opportunity for these kids.
All right, Van. Cody Weigel, 279. Ryan Keith can strike out, shoot 259. Who's your pick in the championship match between Ryan Keith and Cody Weigel?
I like the Sheboygan kid. I like Weigel. He's a little bit more methodical, it seems like. Very calm, cool, and collected. Plus, we've never had a hometown kid win a hometown tournament.
You know, the heart wants you to go with Weigel. There's no doubt about that, but he's got a lot of games under his belt already today. I mean, I know these young kids have stamina. They can bowl 15, 20 games a day, and it doesn't really faze them at all. But bowling for 2 different championships in one day, getting the mental ups and downs and everything, you just kind of hope that that Weigel can stay mentally focused all the way through. I don't think the physical game's the issue, but you know, you've got the laser focus here. Ryan Keith, he's been throwing it well. Just a couple of single pins, of course, until that shot to throw me off. But you know, the same thing. My heart goes with Weigel, but I'm not sure. I think Ryan Keith has got the experience under the lights where it just might be that slim enough advantage to take home the title.
It's going to be one of those classic matchups we've had. Brewers, Cubs, Bucks, Bulls, Ryan Keith, Cody Weigel. Cody Weigel out of Sheboygan, Ryan Keith out of Bloomingdale, Illinois. The championship match, the border battle next as the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Tournament continues here at Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Lakeshore Lanes here in Sheboygan for the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament. Championship bowling about to go down, a classic border battle as the hometown kid here from Sheboygan, Cody Weigel, taking on Bloomingdale, Illinois' Ryan Keith.
Packers, Bears, Brewers, Cubs, and now Weigel, Keith. Great battles here at the Sean Yonan Memorial over the years, and here's another one. And you got to root for the hometown kid here with Cody Weigel. He's thrown it well all day, and now that's his first real pull of a shot we've seen out of him.
Came up high in his first frame here in the championship match. Uncharacteristic to what we saw in the qualifying game.
Well, uncharacteristic here as well, Van, as he's going from that urethane ball for his strike ball. He's going to a reactive resin ball, much aggressive ball for the spare. But he wants to play that same line, and he knows that ball's going to hook across the lane, and he doesn't have to be as accurate with it for a spare because you have so much room knocking down the single pin. So not a bad strategy move there for Weigel.
Thought for sure maybe in his fill ball in the last game to get him here, he was already in, he would have tried something else, but strategy perhaps, a little different of an approach.
Well, yeah, nobody's interfering with your line for both of these players here with Ryan Keith starting things off.
Oh, my goodness. Can't trip the 10 pin.
And that's not really a urethane hit with that strong of a hit where you see the ball get really aggressive the last couple of feet still. It rolls so strong with this 3-pin knocks the 6 straight back, and then the 3 comes back in front of the 10. And the exact opposite approach here for Keith goes to the polyester ball straight up the lane.
No, just as long as you pick up your spare. It doesn't matter what ball you use.
It's a comfort factor. I mean, we still see players on the PBA Tour like Norm Duke that don't switch to a polyester ball for their spares, even for their 10 pins. They just flatten it out and let it go.
Yeah, they're able to kill the hook on their spare ball.
And a lot of these young players now, especially with
tournaments now instituting the number of bowling balls you can bring to an event, limiting it to 5 or 6 bowling balls. These kids are getting more and more used to shooting spares with urethane or resin, and so they'll sit there and they'll practice with those urethane or resin balls, because that way it keeps a spare ball from taking up a valuable spot in the bag when it's limited.
Personal preference, though. I still prefer the polyester ball. Straighter is greater at a spare, but to each his own.
Yes, exactly. I used to throw polyester. Now I'm getting old. My speed's a little slower, so I don't mind a little urethane. Just try to get a little bit of hook away from the gutter if I over project it at a 7-pin.
And
so.
I've mentioned this in telecast before, the resurgence of urethane in bowling here in 2017, as we see Cody Weigel throwing an Ebonite Nitro and gets stuck with a RAP 10.
Well, and here's the thing sometimes, though, is that urethane can be pretty condition specific. Our friend Dick Allen on the PBA Tour just had a little rant on Facebook last weekend after a regional event down south about the number of righties that were using urethane as a crutch instead of actually playing the lanes the way he thought they should have been played. And it was kind of funny watching the back and forth between bowlers about how urethane being used on lanes and the talent factor that's kind of needed with urethane sometimes. But hey, Weigel's showing his talent right now. Keith's showing his talent right now, both throwing urethane. I wouldn't change a thing if I was either player.
Urethane was something I threw when I was a kid back in the 80s and 90s, and had I known, I wouldn't have gotten rid of my equipment.
Yeah, but the urethanes nowadays are even more aggressive than the ones we had back in our day. And the weight blocks that are in these bowling balls as well are completely different. So, I mean, in the very late 80s, early 90s, when they started experimenting with the different weight blocks, that's where a lot of the changes with ball reactions started coming into play.
I was going to say, I'll go dig out my LT48 from the attic somewhere. I had an Ebonite Nitro as well when I was a kid, and that's what the ball Cody Weigel is throwing here out of Sheboygan. He's back on pace.
Yeah. The one thing that urethane ball does, you see that strong roll through the pocket, is you have to make sure you have enough speed on the ball to make sure the ball doesn't roll out too early. Urethane always rolls up earlier than reactive resin. Ball speed much more crucial with urethane than with resin.
Another 7-pin for Keith.
And he's got to be thinking to himself now, with back-to-back 7s like that, it might be time to either change to a different urethane ball or maybe a very, very weak resin. You see the deflection coming off of that. He's already out on the 2-board. He doesn't have much more room left to move. He knows the oil concentration is going to be higher if he moves right, and you can't really float it with urethane like you can with reactive resin. So we'll see what kind of changes Ryan Keith makes here to stay competitive.
That's Parker Boneland, the 1-2 board out there, as Keith throwing a pitch black and a natural solid. That's what he has in his arsenal here today.
Well, he's playing it smart. That's where the least concentration of oil is on this Tower of Pisa pattern. It's very light on the 1 and 2 boards. He knows that ball's going to make a reaction off the lane. It's got 21 feet to get to the pocket.
And he's the only one out there.
Exactly.
As he hangs on, and a light strike, able to trip the 7, but a strike's a strike.
Well, he's up by 1 pin over Weigel right now. But Weigel can strike here, take a 9-pin lead. You can put a double on the board here in frame number 4. And you watch Ryan Keith, that's one thing we've always seen from him, even when he was a youth player. Holds that foul through all the way to win the balls through the pins. Always important to make sure you have great balance. And if you're a league player, you want to practice how to make yourself better with your balance, hold that form all the way through the pins. See Weigel doing the same thing there.
You don't want to walk away. You don't want to watch your shot.
And Weigel, big double there, 9-pin lead in the match as we enter the high 5 gear 5th frame.
As we check out the replay. Able to trip the 10-pin.
Just enough for the bottom of the 6 on the bottom of the 10. And you see he's going to town with that chamois. Really get as much oil off the surface of the bowling ball as you can from shot to shot, because urethane, very sensitive to oil. You want to make sure you get all that oil off the cover. Looking for 3 in a row.
Sheboygan mixes them up.
I think,
a light hit.
I think he got away with that one a little bit, Van. That was a little farther right than he wanted to get it, but he also kind of slowed down when he was getting through the bottom of the shot. Gave the ball enough time to hook. Yeah, I mean, that ball was out about 7th board there when we've seen it on that left lane previously. We saw that ball around 9th board, 10th board. So Weigel gets away with one. But he's up by 19 pins right now.
A little bit of room out there for Cody Weigel as we check out Ryan Keith and another 7-pin. My goodness.
Same motion. I mean, you could have overlaid the shots he threw in the third frame now here in the fifth, back to back. Same thing. Look at where the ball's coming off the end of the pattern here. It makes its move to the pocket. Deflection at the pocket. Ball almost rolls through the 8-pin spot. He's got to find a way to. The only way he's going to have a chance in this match is find something to do on lane 4.
Is that too strong of an entry angle that he continues to leave these stone 7?
The ball's just rolling out. He needs to either pick up his speed a little bit more and play a little more direct, or he's going to need to change equipment. That ball is just not having a strong enough roll when it gets to the pins, and he's hitting up on it well. He's not overhitting it. We saw what happened in the 10th frame of the semifinal match when he overhit it. Went right through the nose, so he's got to stay soft with it.
23-year-old out of Bloomingdale, Illinois, throwing the pitch black, and natural solid, and there he finds a strike. Ryan Keith. More of the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament from Lakeshore Lanes here in Sheboygan continues next. Do not adjust your television sets. This is the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Tournament here at Lakeshore Lanes. Van McNeil alongside Phil Drilo. Cody Weigel, the hometown kid. A little bit of a hot streak here, Phil.
Tell you what, up by 19 pins, working on 3 in a row, can get it out to 29 now if he can strike here in frame number 6. He's got to take advantage of his opponent's struggles on this lane. Ryan Keith, a 10-pin, 2 7-pins here on lane 4. Weigel, just a 10-pin in the second frame, now working on 3 in a row.
Solid pocket strike. Made an adjustment. He's back, Phil.
Tell you what, if he can strike here in the 7th frame, it's going to put a ton of pressure on Ryan Keith to get up on that lane number 4 and strike in the 7th frame to try to stay close in this match. 29 pins the lead now for Weigel. Another strike gets it out to 39. And he's looking at possibly taking home $1,000 in scholarship money if he can take home this title.
Cody, the 18-year-old from right here in Sheboygan. Very big thank you to his dad, John, his mom, Tanya, brother, Logan, Steve Richter as well, and just got away from him.
He just let that one get out of his hand fast, and with urethane, it rolls early, and if you don't have the proper rotation on it, it just comes out flat. You just look right there. The shot before, he got away with a little bit. He was a little bit slower. He was out around that 7th board at the break point. That ball just too fast. And once again, interesting how he's going to shoot at the spare. Goes with the reactive resin.
Again, that was 7-8 frames ago. In the 10th frame, he was trying some different things. He was able to get away with that shot. 7 frames later, it's amazing how quick things transition.
Gutsy spare, though, by Weigel.
Oh, yeah.
Switching to that reactive resin. Covers up the bucket. His maximum score right now is going to be 255. Ryan Keith right now, though, can strike out 7th through the 10th frames. He's got one up in the 6th here. 250 still possible for Keith, but he's struggled on this left lane.
Cody Weigel out of Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Ryan Keith out of Bloomingdale, Illinois. Your classic border battle here at the Sean Yonan.
And Ryan Keith gave that ball a little extra on the bottom. You saw how quick his hand got through the ball. Wanted to make sure he had an extra rev or 2 on it.
He must have been listening to you earlier. He must have heard pick up the ball speed a little bit.
We lefties are all telepathic with each other. We know what's going on. But now the lead's just 15 pins, can get down to 5 pins right here if Keith gets a 3-bagger.
Oh boy, hanging on there. Parker Bone-esque on the 1-2 board and still able to mix up a strike.
And he knows he has that room on lane 3. It's giving him a little more room. It's giving Cody Weigel a little more room. The good news for Ryan Keith is he gets to finish this match on that left lane, lane number 3. And now the pressure squarely back on Cody Weigel. This lead only 5 pins, and Weigel working on a spare here in the 8th frame.
Cody sticking with the urethane, the Ebonite Nitro. And trip 10? No trip 10.
No trip 10.
I want to look at the replay here, and we're starting to see the ball react a little funny.
Well, you just watch. It gets a little longer before it makes the turn down lane. That's some of the carry down he's already created for himself. And you see when it got to the pocket, it deflected all the way through the 9-pin spot. So
You know, he's only got one more shot to go on this lane. Unfortunately for him, it's the 10th frame, but right now, make the 10-pin move on, and you still have a chance in this match.
Got to say, face transition, a big part here. Oh my goodness, and that's, again, we've talked about it before, not changing over to a polyester ball, sometimes getting in trouble like Cody did here with the urethane ball and missing your 10-pin.
Well, now you got to refocus. You're not at the match yet, Cody. He's wasting no time getting back up on the approach. A little bit of anger with himself. But there's still 233 out there. There's still plenty of room for Ryan Keith to make a mistake as well.
I understand that you're hot, you're mad at yourself, but maybe take a beat, take a minute, reassess. I know every bowler's different, but wow, maybe that's just the kick in the pants that Cody needed to get back on the horse.
Well, right now, Ryan Keith in control of this match on a three-bagger here in the 9th frame.
There he is. Solid pocket strike from the southpaw from Bloomingdale, Illinois. This is a classic border battle, Phil.
Here's the situation right now. Ryan Keith can max out at 250, so if Ryan Keith gets the first one in the 10th here and good count, he's going to lock up Cody Weigel before Cody can even step up in the 10th. Try to take home the championship. $1,000 first place prize on the line with this shot for Ryan Keith.
A big thank you to his twin brother Adam, sister Caitlin, his mom and dad, Craig and Karen. Trip the 10, a southpaw tripping a 10-pin. What's going on here?
I'll tell you what, he got a break on that light shot. He really didn't get through the ball as well as he wanted to. But the speed he had on that shot, head pin comes back off the side court, does a ton of work. You see it just take out the 10 pin there. And now it's just keep the ball on the lane. I mean, he's playing a pretty relatively outside line.
Right.
I don't think you're going to see him gunning up the middle, but you're going to see him play maybe a board or two tighter.
I like the 3 or 4 board. He's been out there in the outskirts. Yeah, a little tentative to leave the stone 7, but
He knows that was exactly what he needed. 239 the score if he converts his spare. And he's taking home that $1,000 first place prize. And another Keith takes home a championship here for Sheboygan. Last year in the high school girls division, his sister Caitlin we saw take home the $750 first place prize for the high school girls for the Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship. So back-to-back years, members of the Keith family taking home the title here from Sheboygan.
I said it before, I'll say it again, the future of bowling looks great. We have a great selection of up-and-coming youth bowlers. Don't forget, if you want to get involved in bowling, talk to your middle school, talk to your high school, your grade school, and see if bowling is a viable option by you.
I'll tell you what, Cody looks dejected right now, but nothing to hold your head low with, young man, because you put on a heck of a show all day here at Lakeshore Lanes, not just here on TV, but also for the Sean Yonan Memorial Sheboygan Youth Championships earlier today. And it's a lot of scholarship money he's taken home with him. I believe it was $400 he took home with himself this morning, another $650 of scholarship money this afternoon. So that'll pay for what, $1,050? That's like 3 books in college nowadays, isn't it?
Absolutely. The cost of college, astronomical. And this, I'm pretty sure this is a learning lesson, not just for us, but for Cody as well. One mental lapse, just one, and things can fall apart like Cody did. We congratulate our 2017 Sean Yonan champion, Ryan Keith, out of Bloomingdale, Illinois. We'll wrap it up next year from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan.
Barbier's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Bluemont Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com.
It has been an amazing day of bowling here at Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. What a fun day here for the 2017 Sean Yonan Memorial Tournament. And I thought for sure, for the first time ever, we would have a hometown hero. That was not the case, though.
Yeah, Cody Weigel close all day long to the championship title. Came down 8th frame, had the chance to stay in the lead, missed that 10-pin. Ryan Keith took full advantage of that, 9th and 10th frames, strikes in those 2 frames for Ryan Keith. Ryan Keith takes home that $1,000 first place prize. But hey, $650 college scholarship for Cody Weigel, and he won another $400 earlier today in the Sean Yonan Memorial Sheboygan only championships. $1,000 in scholarship money for Cody Weigel. Heck of a day for that young man as well, Van.
It has been quite an honor to be covering the Sean Yonan here, and there is more to come here because we have the youth championships coming up as well.
Yeah, the 12th annual youth championships coming up. 4 divisions: high school boys and girls, college boys and girls. $750 top scholarship prize in each of those 4 divisions. $17,000 in scholarship money given away in one day by Keith Yonan and his family. What an event they run here at Lakeshore Lanes.
And it's been going for 12 years. It's amazing to see the community and the whole bowling community rally behind this.
I'll tell you what, it's getting a little crowded here at Lakeshore Lanes. I think we got to get out of here, let the open play get in,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
come back tomorrow for that Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship show.
So for Phil Brilo and the entire crew here at Lakeshore Lanes, my name is Van McNeil. Stick around. The youth championships coming up here and replays on YouTube as well. Thanks for watching.